I've never ridden a Fuel Injected 500. In fact, before this year, I didn't even know they existed. So naturally, we decided to build our very own Fuel Injected 500, and today we're going to ride the beast for the very first time. How will it perform? What will it feel like? And will it ride better than the other 500s we've ridden before? Those are the questions we're going to answer today. Let's hit the track. I think we've become addicted to big bore two-strokes. Over the past few years, we've built a mean collection of beasts that includes the Megalodon 700 and the YZilla 500. And in order to complete the collection, we've been building a fuel-injected 500cc two-stroke, and to fit in with our monster theme, we've named this thing accordingly. This is Project Kong. So far in the series, we've teamed up with Sean Smith, who stripped down our donor bike and got her ready for Roland of Hardcore Racing to complete the motor conversion. It was then back to Sean to begin the rebuild. And although we got the bike started and fired into life, we didn't quite get everything finished in the last episode. Right, so before we go and ride Kong, we need to make her look pretty. So that's the plan today, because we've just got our last delivery from 24MX, one of our awesome sponsors. We've got a big box of bits over there that we're going to fit to the bike today. But once again, I'm going to leave that to Sean and to Phil, Dad, who's behind the camera right now, to do that in the workshop, whilst I'm editing this video, which is Kong episode 2. You're watching episode 3 right now. When we're doing these weekly uploads, it can sometimes become a bit of a race to get them finished in time, and we're in one of those situations right now. So I'm going to stay here, work on this edit, and I'm going to hand you over to the guys in the workshop right now. So our box of goodies from 24MX included Motormaster brake discs, Michelin tyres, ODI lock-on grips, and much more. You really can get everything you need for a rebuild from 24MX. We also got a gorgeous set of Harm wheels from Roland, who is the UK importer. And the boys had absolutely no problems at all fitting the tyres onto these wheels. Isn't that right, lads? Once the tyres were fitted, Sean could really get cooking. Kong was finally starting to come together, and the final stage of the process was to fit the graphics that were designed and printed by a local family-run company, LR Designs.
Yeah, just putting the graphics on here. As you can see, it will be revealed later on. Just want to shout out to LR Designs, who actually smashed out this awesome gorilla effect of graphics. I think is yeah, bang on. So we're putting the personalised seat on from 24MX. Got the Kong logo, so let's bang it on. I think he's going to love it. Yeah.
Who's going to be the first to ride it?
Me. I've done all the work. Sorry, Matt.
So there we have it, Kong in all its glory. Obviously we've got some trick parts on the bike, like the 20 titanium foot pegs from 24MX. You can actually get 10% off a pair of these if you use my code MAX10 on the 24MX website. I'm honestly so pumped on how this build came out, and hopefully it rides and sounds as good as it looks. This build really was made so much easier thanks to our awesome sponsors 24MX and their massive range of products. So if you're currently in the process of doing your own build, be sure to check them out for all your hard parts, accessories and much more. So the next stage in the process is to fill the bike up and gently run her in. But you guys don't want to see that boring bit, do you? So let's fast forward to the first real rip. And as promised, Sean will have the honour of taking Kong on track for the very first time.
Come on in, Sean.
Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty good. Really good. I mean, we're just running it in at the minute, but yeah, it's very, very good.
Sean actually has the honour of being the first man ever to ride this bike. Well, first of our crew anyway. Firstly, how's that feel?
Yeah.
I mean,
Awesome.
he's jumped the gun before me.
Yeah. Well, I had to. I did most,
Yeah,
of, the, I did most
too-
of the work.
It's too wet for me anyway.
Yeah. About the case?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I had to get a lawyer for that one.
Just explain what you've done, Sean.
Yeah, it's a new triple outlet. It's not very big, but it's quite long. And I see Walt Beanie do it the other day, and I've been on the 500.
125.
On a 125, yeah. And thought, oh, I'll smash that on this 500, and yeah, it didn't quite make it, and big old case, but stayed on, and it soaked it up.
Why didn't you make it?
I don't know, in my infinite wisdom, I thought I'll do that in second gear, and it ran out of rev basically, and I should have been in third. But yeah, but then done a lap with a very high pitched voice. And then that was it basically.
Oh, it's a shame we didn't get it on GoPro.
Oh, no,
oh,
yeah,
you did?
Yeah, fortunately.
Okay, so you can see Kong is dirty. Kong has been ridden for the first time. Sean's had the honour of doing that. Just run the bike in, sussing it out. Track's a bit slick at the moment, but it's coming around quickly, so we're going to get out there in a minute, lay down a hammer and really learn what Kong is like on track, and then we can try and compare it to YZilla, the Megalodon, the other bikes that we've got. So game on, let's go and spin some laps on Kong and find out if it is king. Okay, so we are on track, finally! Let's get around this little corner. On board Kong 500 Fuel Injected 2-stroke. The first day on track for us. So we're running the bike in, I'm getting to grips with it right now. The format of the day. Me and Sean Smith. Our top mechanic and bike builder. We could not have done this project without him. We're going to take turn riding the bike today. Getting to grips with her. Because obviously there's a few things for us to figure out and get used to. Obviously, this is a TBI fuel injected machine. No carb on this baby. So that power delivery is something we're going to get our head around today. And of course this bike started out life as an enduro machine. So obviously at the moment we're running enduro suspension. So we're going to figure out what that feels like, what we want to change there. For Sean, the bike's a little tall. Let's be honest. We're very surprised at how tall the bike feels. And Sean is somewhat vertically challenged. We'll see how he gets on with that. And then we're going to be thinking about mainly the main focus of the video is to think about how this thing compares in all aspects to the YZilla YZ500. So that's the focus for today. I'm going to crack on, spin some laps, let Sean have some fun on the bike he worked so hard on, and enjoy the power of a fuel injected 500 2-stroke. Right, so we've done a few sessions now on the Kong 500, going well so far. Both really enjoying it, getting to grips with how the power delivery comes in. Obviously the suspension, it's enduro suspension. but it's holding up well out there. We're going to do a few more sessions of filming now just to get the shots, and then we'll have a discussion in depth at the end about what we really think of this bike and how it compares to the YZilla 500. So let's hit the track again. So if it's not plainly obvious, we were both loving life on board Kong. The thing really is a wheelie machine and provides smiles for miles. But whilst I was spinning laps, I just couldn't stop thinking about that future shootout against the YZilla 500. But before Sean and I start comparing the two BRC powered beasts, let's have one final rip. Kong is alive and kicking and sounding oh so good. I'm sure you guys will agree. And once again, I need to say a massive thank you to our awesome sponsors that have made this possible. 24MX for all the help with the hard parts and accessories, and Pewterline for providing us with the best oils and lubricants to put inside our machine. Sean and I were like kids fighting over our favourite toy. Neither of us wanted to stop and share. That's just how much fun we were having. But let's sit down and talk through our thoughts after a day in the saddle of our newest monster two-stroke. What a day, Sean. Awesome. Kong has been christened and it might be king of the two-strokes, but we'll get into that in a bit. But first of all, what an amazing day, right?
Yeah, fantastic, yeah.
It started off a bit hit and miss with the weather, but sun's come out in the end, the track was prime, and we've both spent quite a lot of time in the seat of Kong. At the first, Sean, we was worried a little bit about you because it was sitting quite tall this morning, wasn't it? But no problems in that department in the end.
It looked incredibly tall, and when I got on it, I thought, oh, you know,
Can't touch the floor.
could struggle. But once you're on the bike, no problem at all. It didn't, yeah, just felt at home on it.
Suspension was one of the areas that we was a little bit concerned about coming into today. We're not concerned about, but we want to look at because it's got the enduro stuff that we started with and we haven't changed it yet. That's a plan for the future. There's not too many massive jumps here, but there's some heavy landings if you over jump. But it seemed to handle it quite well, right?
Yeah, I couldn't fault it really. Obviously, it wasn't that rough, was it, for it to work the suspension hard? But yeah, no, really good, and it handled what we threw at it.
The main thing people want to know about is that power, the power delivery. What does a fuel injection change compared to your carbureted two-strokes? I thought it was pretty fun out there, right? What did you think?
I just thought it was awesome, yeah. Couldn't
Smart
fault it.
factory, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there was just, you know, with it being fuel injected, just, I don't know, it just seemed instant everywhere.
Even sitting under the awning this morning, just revving it up, it just sounded sharp. Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? What BRC have done with these bikes, with the counterbalance shaft, big 500, but so easy to ride. Like, I never in a million years thought I'd be a 500 rider, but I am loving riding these big bikes.
You've got to give credit to BRC because that, you know, they've engineered that engine, and we have like rode it all day. Pretty much all day, and it is faultless. It has not missed a beat. I'm mega impressed.
I don't think I've ever seen you quite so impressed by a bike after a day's test, and we've done quite a few tests with you now, and at the end there you was really happy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I felt at home. I like the Austrian chassis. You know, it's one of my favourites.
You look really comfortable on that, to be fair, all day.
And it did feel comfortable.
The only area that we want to try and improve is the braking, right? We did. Yeah, it didn't stop, did it? And that's nothing against anything. I think because everything's so new, you know, you just got to give time for everything to bed in. But yeah, there was a few heart-stopping moments, I must admit. But yeah, all good. Outside of the BRC guys in Canada, I think we are the only people in the world with one of these fuel injected 500 two-stroke and the Yamaha YZ500 that they've built. I think that's right, correct? So we're the only people currently with these two bikes. So that's what people are going to want to see.
Yeah.
We're going to do that video. That's next on the to-do list pretty much. What are your impressions, the difference between the two at the moment? Obviously not riding back to back though.
I mean, they're both incredible. They really are. You know, once we got the YAM set up, you know, awesome bike, absolutely awesome. That today was just faultless. It was fantastic. It done everything we wanted it to. But until you jump off that onto the YAM, off the YAM onto the Husky, and you know, give them a good workout, I think then you're going to know the true result.
It's going to be a very interesting day at the track. I cannot wait to do that. But before we get to that, there's one more thing that we're going to do to finish this build, and the parts have arrived from Canada this week. Currently it's a TPI injection, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to turn it, BRC have done a kit to turn it into a TBI injection. So just explain to people like me that might be a bit, what the hell's that? What is the difference there?
So the TBI basically is it's another throttle body that doesn't use the fuel injection system that they have developed. It will run a premix, which, you know, for what we're using it for motocross and things like that, it's better for
It's
what
preferred,
we
yeah.
It is
Especially
better,
we've got other two-strokes in the garage like we do.
Yeah.
It's just easier to have a fuel can for everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you were a trail rider, that's perfect, because it is faultless. But as we're not really using it for trail riding, we're going to use it for motocross. TBI throttle body gets rid of all the auto lube and all of that. So it'll be interesting to see.
So one of the only issues, let's call it, we had today was obviously this is a fuel injected electric start bike, but we haven't actually been able to start with that electric start yet, have we? What's going on with that, do we think?
The battery amperage, I think, again, it's all new to us, so we've just used the original battery, which I don't think the amperage on it is high enough to turn over. I mean, it's now a 500, it's no longer, you know, 300, and I just don't think, it didn't spin it over fast enough, did it? So we're going to get a bigger amperage battery, and then the TBI mod, and it should all be, we'll see how we go, it should be good.
So if any of you watching at home have some tips for us, maybe the best battery to use on something like this, just drop down in the comments down below and give us some help, give us some tips, see if we can get this thing started with a button instead of our legs.
Yeah.
Right? I don't mind kicking it, but some of the guys short of leg.
Someone had to hold it.
Yeah, I had to get a cool dad over every time. So we'll do the TBI, I think we'll get it dynoed after that.
Yeah.
And then we'll get on track with the YZilla. YZilla versus Kong. I know everyone wants to see it, so that's going to be the plan next. So as always, guys, I'll say a massive thanks to Sean for all of his help building the bike. Thanks to Roland as well for all his help on the project, and to everyone else that's made this possible. My name's Max. This is 999 Laser. Till next time, we'll see you at the track.